Brandon, I know you probably haven't had a lot of interviews since you were signed by the New York Mets. Who did you grow up rooting for in baseball? Who did you grow up rooting for in football? And what pushed you? What strided you? What made you decide at a young age or even a middle-aged kid that baseball was probably going to be the sport for you?
Yeah, so I mean, in football, I've always been a Steelers fan. I've been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan,
Uh-oh.
and that
Uh-oh.
has a lot to do. Yeah, well, so my dad lived in South Carolina, and they didn't have a team. They didn't have a football team, so he ended up becoming a Steelers fan, and then I was kind of just was pulled into it. And when I was growing up, they were winning a lot of Super Bowls too. So it was an exciting team to watch.
You
Now
better
in
not
baseball,
you better not tell New York fans that, man. You keep that to yourself.
yeah.
Don't tell any New
No,
York fans
no.
you're a Steeler fan, even though there's a huge Steeler base of fans here in New York. They love the Steelers. Steelers, I believe, the
Yes,
Steelers
it
are
is.
America's team. I've said this over and over again. Everybody
Yeah.
calls the Cowboys America's team. I believe that over the last 10, 15 years, the team of America, and you go anywhere, they're Steeler fans. I was over there at the Super Bowl this year working Radio Row. I will tell you that I saw more Steeler fans, and the Steelers weren't even in the Super Bowl. I saw
Wow.
more Steeler fans there than any fans from any NFL team. That's how crazy the
Hey, that's
Steeler
good to
fans are.
hear. Yeah, I mean, I hope the America's team would be one of the ones that has won the most Super Bowls. I hope America wouldn't be rooting for the one that has less Super Bowls than the Steelers. You know?
Well, don't tell that to the Cowboy fans either, because they rule here too.
I know.
There's a lot of
Oh
Cowboy
yeah.
fans here too. You're
Oh
you're
yeah.
you're moving to a place, man, where New York fans, when they love their sports, they love their sports. And if you become a fan favorite, Brandon, you become loved not only from the Met fans, but the Islander fans, the Ranger fans, the even the Yankee fans, even the Yankee fans. There are.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm a Yankee fan, but I love Jacob deGrom. I think Jacob deGrom to
Yeah.
me is one of the most underrated, unappreciated pitchers in professional sports and professional baseball. And the guy won back-to-back Cy Youngs, and he has been absolutely incredible ambassador for the New York Mets and took $140 million when he could have waited this year and made himself probably $250 million. It shows you how good of a Samaritan he is. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yankees, Mets, Islanders, Rangers, Knicks, even the bad Knicks. And I'm telling you right now, you want to go watch bad basketball, you go to the Garden. That's where you go. So it's not
Yeah.
good. So hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah.
But New York sports, this
Yeah.
is the Big Apple, baby. You're here. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah, I have, and that's so cool. That's such an amazing thing to hear about. I mean, there's so much history in New York, and sports is such a big part of it. So I mean, I can't wait to be a part of it too.
What are you looking forward to most about New York outside of the sports element with their city culture, East Coast life?
He's
What do
looking to meet me. That's what he's looking for. I mean, he's looking to meet me.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's what he see.
Yeah.
Brandon wants to meet me. He said, screw New York. He wants to meet me.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to be on the show in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right there with you
When
guys.
you get up here, buddy, when you get up here, you're more than welcome to come on the show and do the show with me. A matter of fact, I do a show on an FM dial called The Weekend Crunch with Eric Coleman, ex-New York Jet. We'll get you on that show live when you come up here at JVC Studios.
that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
But I know what you really want to come to New York for. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the Mets. It's not any of the city. You want to come over here to Long Island to meet me. I understand that. I'm gracious, man. I'll give you whatever autograph you want. I'll sign whatever you want, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Speedy.
So, when going back to your college career, what are some of the big differences you noticed with both, again, college baseball and college football in general, just the way their sports are, and also the differences with the SEC at South Carolina, the whole culture of the football teams there and the baseball fans there, and then the Pac-12 with a lot of parity, a lot of craziness, and again, a strong baseball conference as well. What are some of the big differences you noted playing for those schools?
Yeah, I mean, in football and baseball, the biggest difference is the way that you work out, and honestly the way that you are trying to train your body. In football, it is It's about putting padding on you. You got to put as much on your body, gaining weight, and to be able to take that impact, because the speed that people are just running into each other, butting heads at, is really fast at the college level. That's a lot of impact, a lot of force that's coming on you, and you gotta be ready for it, or it's you can get hurt. That's kind of a big thing in football, is to be ready to take the hits and get out the hits. And then baseball, though, is a lot more about the movement. It's a lot more about the way you can move your body, and flexibility, and being able to rotate while also gaining the power to be able to hit the ball as far as you want to, and to throw it as hard as you want to. And then it's a long season, so the durability thing is there too. There's a lot more games, even though football is it's intense for a short period of time. You have one game every week, and after that game, that's the only game that you can play. But baseball, it's like you win a game on Friday, and you still have to win on Saturday, and you still have to win on Sunday. And the durability that comes from that is very different. And I noticed that in the SEC and the Pac-12. I mean, there are a lot of similarities, because they both have guys that go on and play professional sports, but there are also big differences. Whereas the SEC guys are a lot bigger. They throw the ball harder and as pitchers, and it's a little more about just hitting the ball far, and a lot about velocity, and be bigger, faster, and stronger. Whereas the Pac-12 is a little more like the finesse game, where in football there's a lot of throwing, a lot of passing, a lot of spreading things out. And in baseball, you have pitchers that throw all different pitches that move all different ways. And there's a little more of putting the ball in play to move somebody over, or bunting to get somebody over, and scoring runs on bunts. And it's a little more like the strategy there. So, I mean, it was almost as much of a contrast as football and baseball is. There's a similar contrast in the SEC and Pac-12, but either way, in both, there's amazing competitions on both sides of the country.
We are talking to Mets free agent outfield prospect Brandon McIlwain. Brandon, before we let you go, I have two questions to ask you. They're multiple. These are questions I'm putting together because I'm sure you have not much to answer with this, because even though you're a baseball fan, you're probably not going to want to answer it because you don't want to throw yourself under the bus. But to me, I have to ask you this question. I've asked everybody this question. What were your thoughts with the Houston Astros, the cheating scandal, and knowing that the National League in a couple of years might be changing with the CBA, with the DH position? Do you like that move for the National League, or do you dislike that move?
Yeah, I mean, that is something that's pretty hard to answer. I think it's something I've realized is that whatever the rule is, I'm going to be going after my dream as a professional baseball player either way. It doesn't matter what the rules are. Sometimes you have to play by the rules and make the best with what you have. So, I mean, that's another thing with kind of the scandals, is as long as things are maintained, and the integrity of the game is maintained, it stays the same baseball that I've grown up playing, and then I'm gonna be excited to be a part of the major league if I'm blessed enough to make it there.
Oh, you're a veteran already.
Don't worry about those things later.
You're a veteran already, man. That was a good answer. Young guy. I mean, every time I ask all these young kids, they're like, "Oh, can't answer that. I don't want to throw myself under the bus." But you're not throwing yourself under the bus. I'm just being honest with you, because a lot of people, I've asked a lot of coaches this, and I think it has hurt the integrity of the game. And this has been going on for years, but the way they did it, banging on garbage pails in their dugout, was completely appalling, and wearing these clickers on the inside of their jerseys made absolutely no sense. But again, I don't expect you to answer a question like that. I just wanted to know your opinion towards it. So I really appreciate you giving us a veteran answer. I love you already, man. I love you already.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, when the Mets call you up, man, is there a particular song that you're going to come out to?
Ooh.
Buffalo Soldiers, man. Buffalo Soldier.
I guess it has to be.
All right.
You just keep bringing it back to me. It has to.
All right. So, man, I'm telling you right now, I promise you, when you get called up, and you play Buffalo Soldier when you come up there and you hit a home run, you jack a home run, or you get an RBI, and they interview at the end of the game, I want you to give me a shout-out, man. I want you to say, for Errol Marks out there from the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, I love you, man. I hope you enjoyed that music, and I hope you enjoyed that run. I know you're not a Met fan, so.
Yeah, even though you're not a Met fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Met fan. But
you planted the idea now, so I love it. Sounds like a great idea.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brandon. If you ever do come up, and I believe you will be up a lot sooner than later with all the Mets outfielding problems that they had over the years, I just want you to know something. When you get called up, you better be inviting us to that first game, man. I'm telling you right now. I've got Mr. Webb over there,
Braden Webb.
Braden Webb, telling me that he's going. If the first game he gets called up and he plays against the Mets, I am there. He will make sure that I'm there to go watch his game. So I'm going to come up there. I'm going to be a fan of yours, man. So be sure that when you get called up, you get that jack. So you give me that credit, man, because I deserve it, man.
Maybe there's a small chance they'll face each other.
Oh my God, he's probably going to get off the phone. He's like, that guy is crazy. Brandon, why don't you tell all the fans how they can find you on social media?
Did you say it one time? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
No. I tell all the fans how they can find you on social media, my friend.
Oh yeah, so on Twitter, my handle is McIlwain, but I have 11 as the I and the L because those get mixed up a lot. So it's just McIlwain with the I and the L, and on Twitter it's Brandon McIlwain 11.
Look at you.
McIlwain 11.
Look at you. You got 11,000 fans on Twitter, man. I've been very impressed with you, man. You are just killing it, man. You got a lot of fans with Twitter, Instagram, and now you get drafted by the Mets. I mean, you're rolling, man. You're rolling. You better roll down to New York, man, as quick as possible. I can tell you that. Play the lottery or something. Play the lottery.
Yeah. I'm just so thankful. If God blesses me to get there, then I'm gonna be doing everything I can to make the Mets the best we can and to bring some more excitement to New York.
I'm going to appreciate that, and I want to see the Mets a championship competitive team so they can play against the Yankees in the World Series and lose again. But then again, I'll still be a fan of yours, my friend. So when they do when you do lose against the Yankees in the World Series, I'll still give you a pat on the back and I'll sign your hat. How's that sound?
I guess that sounds all right. I'll take the signature, but all the other stuff maybe not.
Now what happens if Brandon gets the winning hit to have the Mets win a crucial game?
Well, I don't know.
What are you going to feel about that?
I'm not going to feel very good, but again, I'll still be Brandon's friend. So I will give him all the credit, even though he beat my Yankees. But again, it is what it is. It's baseball, so anything can happen. But Brandon, thank you for joining us. When the season does start, whenever it does from this COVID-19, and shout out to your family. Hopefully everything is going good with your family. We would love for you to stay in touch with us. We want you to come back on the show. And I believe in the next couple of years you will be called up. And I'm looking forward to watching you play and become the player that everybody believes you're going to become, especially the New York Mets.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate you saying that. It's good to know that I'll have a friend on the Yankee side, too, no matter how bad we beat him.
No, don't. Shots fired by Brandon McIlwain. He's taking shots now. Well, whenever you come up here, we would love to get you in the studio live. We'd love to do the show live with you. And you're going to be playing with a friend of mine, Marcus Stroman. So looking forward to watching you develop. And everybody believes you're going to be, including Brody Van Wagenen, but he probably won't be the GM by the time you get called up anyways. So it doesn't matter.
And maybe if you do come in, we'll have you and Errol do a duet on Buffalo Soldier.
There you go. We can sing together.
Yeah.
I'm not the best singer, but I'll be the monotone, okay? You be the high, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good.
All right, Brandon. Thank you for calling, man. We'll be in touch, man. Looking forward to seeing you grow and develop as a player, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.